and I go by the name Stitching Liss on YouTube, and also on Instagram I go by Stitching Liss. And I am very excited to be making my first Flosstube video. I'm definitely a little nervous. I'm not that familiar with the technology, and I'm not really used to talking to myself in the camera. I don't know how you do it. You guys are all so good at it. Hopefully it comes easier with practice. Well, I've been watching Flosstube since 2015. Oh, if you see me looking up that way, that's because I have notes right there on my computer, and I'm filming this on my phone. I have no idea if you're going to get black bars when I upload this. I hope not, but there's a possibility because I really am not sure of what I'm doing yet. Hopefully the lighting's okay and there's very little glare. We'll see. So I've been watching Flosstube since 2015. I started cross-stitching in 2015 and I found Flosstube right away when I started cross-stitching because I very quickly needed to find how to do a French knot, and so I put it into YouTube and I found Flosstube videos immediately. And ever since then I have been inspired and enabled, and I have had so much fun watching your videos. So I've been thinking a long time about making my own video, but felt like I didn't have the right technology and felt very nervous about it. I still might not have the right technology, and I'm still very nervous, but I really wanted to participate in the community because it's such an incredible community. So thank you for letting me be a part of it all this time as a lurker, and hopefully I'll be able to now talk back to you and say hello to all you wonderful people that have been such good Flosstube friends to me without even knowing it. You are such terrific friends to me. So a little bit about myself is that I'm a children's librarian, which is a really nice job to have, especially if you like children and books, which I do. I like both of those things. Like a lot of you Flosstubers, I like to read, but I end up reading a lot of children's books because that's my job. And it really serves me well in my job, but also just because they're really fun to read. I like a lot of middle grade fiction. I'm a huge fan of dystopias like The Giver, and I really liked the Hunger Games series and similar series to those. So if you're ever looking for a good book for your child, please feel free to ask. I love to recommend books. As I said, I started stitching in 2015, and it was because it was right around my birthday time, and I like to take off right around my birthday from work. And I had this huge urge to sew something, and I was never a sewer. I don't know where this urge came from, but I really wanted to sew something. So I decided I was going to go to Michael's to get a piece of fabric and some thread just to make something. And as many of you know, Michael's is not the greatest place to go to get fabric, but I wasn't even well versed enough to know that. So I went to Michael's, and I went to the aisle that I thought would have fabric, and they didn't have any, or they had only 1 or 2 pieces. And I looked in the aisle and I saw a couple of cross-stitch kits, and I was like, well, this is sort of like sewing. Maybe I'll try this. And I started with a stamped kit that eventually I did, and I gave to my mom. I even finished it, like fully finished it, into a little round pillow, and I gave it to her. And at first I thought, I can't advance beyond these stamped kits because counted cross stitch is really hard, and it seems hard, and I was intimidated. But I did end up getting a child's kit, and one day I will show you my very first counted cross stitch when I show you some finishes. It was a little cupcake, and unfortunately when I went to fully finish it, I kind of destroyed the edges, but you can still see the stitching of the cupcake. So I'll definitely show you that one time in the future when I show you some of my other finishes. So I thought what I would do today is show you just a few of my active whips, the ones that I really would like to work on right now in September, and then show you a couple of potential starts for September, and go from there. I think I'm saying a lot. It's very stressful. So I have a lot of project bags from a lot of the wonderful people in Flosstube who make project bags. This is not a project bag from any of those people. This is actually a bag that I got from my mom, who used it for knitting. I don't know if you can tell, but it's almost like rubber. It's plastic. And I like this to use as my travel bag because I feel like it's a little more water safe and damage safe because it's such thick plastic. So I keep the project that I travel with in here. And right now that project is called Belle. And it's by an Etsy store called Frigid Stitch. And I'll show you a picture of what it is here now, what it's supposed to look like. And this is as far as I've gotten with it. Now that looks backwards to me. I wonder if it's looking backwards to you. I won't know until I view the video, I'm sorry. But you can see over here, this is Belle in her gorgeous dress. There will be another Belle, and that Belle will be in her plain dress with the blue and the white apron. The words are the words to the song Belle. It starts out, I want adventure in the great wide somewhere. I want it more than I can tell. And for once it might be grand to have someone understand. I want so much more than they've got planned. And it's just varying colors. It shows up a little better in real life on this fabric. I love this fabric. I think it's called Blueberry. And I think it's an 18 count Aida that was done by Fabrics by LJ. Most of my fabric that's not plain, any of my hand-dyed fabrics, are from LJ. I found it easier to purchase from him as a newbie because you knew what you were getting and you could choose, and he sells a lot of Aida. And really that's all I've worked on, with the exception of a couple of projects, is Aida. So, and this is my needle minder. I don't know if you can see it. It's a stained glass version of Beauty and the Beast together, the Belle and the Prince. That's actually a better shot of the actual stitched piece too. Yeah, that's better. So that's Belle, and my lofty goal is to finish this project in September, but I don't know because I don't totally love stitching on it. It's not my favorite thing to stitch on. So we'll see how far I get with it in September. I'd love to finish it because I am doing Stitch from Stash Part B, which I have been doing much better than I did in Part A. Part A I kind of failed. Not kind of, I totally failed Part A. I overspent and I wasn't able to make it up with finishes. But I've been doing really well in Part B, and that's mostly because of my finishes. I have been curtailing my spending, of course, but because I've been doing some finishing, I haven't had to totally curtail my spending. And so I'm hoping to get some finishes in for September so that I can spend some more. In particular, I know one thing I want to spend on, and I'm so excited to be able to spend on it if it comes up in September. Jen from Delicious Threads has been saying that she might put up her laser cut wood needle minders in September as a sale, and they're like my favorite. And so I've just been waiting and being so excited and looking forward to that, and I can't wait to spend my money on it. So I have to get some finishes so I can spend my money. Just so you can see what else is in my travel bag is this little sidekick bag, and this is from So Much to Love. Let me move it a little closer so you can see that pretty little fairy. Purple is my favorite color. I am team purple. That was my I call him my puppy. He's really a cat. That was my puppy. Do you hear him? He has no idea why I'm talking so much. I never talk this much in the house. So this is my sidekick bag. It's a nice size, and it holds my travel scissors, which have an adorable fob. It holds my travel scissors, and it has my needle case that has spare needles in case I drop one, and a pen, which the top must have come off. I don't like that the top came off that pen. I have to stick that back on. Here it is. So I keep those things in here so I can do my travel work. Usually that means that I'm stitching at lunchtime at work in my car. The next project I want to show you is in a project bag that was made by Nell. It was one of the very first ones she sold. It's in the regular size. I forget what that's called. The big bag? I think the big bag, because she has bitty bags and I have bitty bags. And she's got a big bag and a bigger bag and a biggest bag, I think. This is the big bag, just the regular size. And it's gorgeous. And what I keep in here is my Jim Shore Mill Hill kit. It's the Quilted Cat series, and this one is called Scarlett. This is what it looks like when it's finished. And it's done on a lavender perforated paper. And this is what it looks like now for me. I finished all the cross stitching on the cat, and I've been working on cross stitching the borders. The side borders are really frustrating to stitch, so I kind of took a break from this after I did the first side border. You can see I did all of that cream color. There's still a lot more to go in the side borders, but after that, once I finish them, it'll be time to bead. There's a lot of beads in this one, and I have to do the back stitching also. This is my needle minder. It's a little Russian nesting doll. This is a little fabric needle minder that was done by Jen from Delicious Threads. It's nice and light, so it sits well on the perforated paper. This I don't believe I will finish in September, but it is something that I currently work on regularly in my rotation when I'm not trying to finish something else. The third thing I want to show you is in a project bag by So Much to Love. This was my very first project bag. I don't know if you can see, it's a lot of flowers, but hidden in the flowers are little panda bears. They're so cute, and definitely purple because Team Purple all the way. And what I keep in here, if I didn't mention, is the Magical Creatures calendar by Clouds Factory. And I will try and insert a picture of that here. Just in case you haven't seen it. And I chose to do this on a light pink Aida, it's 16 count, because I thought that a lot of the colors would pop on it. And I've done a lot of substituting of flosses and some changes in the chart. This is the project that I've been brave on, where I've tried to do some different things. And so far I'm up to September. So it starts out with January, February, March, April and May. June is that dragon. July, August. And I gotta start on September over here. This is another needle minder from Delicious Threads. It's one of my favorites. I love the sparkle in that heart. So I've done a lot of changing in the colors of the floss and the colors of different things. You can see, like, my wizard has a black beard. I wanted him to look young instead of old. So he is, he's definitely different. My mermaid has brown hair. She looks like Ariel in the original chart. So I did a lot of changes, and I've used a lot of variegated DMC. So I've enjoyed this somewhat. It's not my favorite project, so I don't work on it that often. I started it last year with Adele's Sal that she created for the Clouds Factory calendar, Magical Creatures calendar, but I didn't finish it. I got up to July. So this year I started again in the summer, and I worked on August and started September. So I'm hoping to keep up with it and finish it this year in December. So that is my Magical Creatures calendar by Clouds Factory. The next thing I want to show you is something I've been working on throughout the year is the Little House Needleworks Calendar Girls series. I am not exactly up to date, but I'm not too far off. I am up to July, and I would like to stitch July in September, and I'd like to finish her in September. So I keep my calendar girls in this project bag here, which is really cute. It's purple with unicorns. This was made by Southpaw Creation on Etsy, and her name is Erin, and she does crochet. So she has an Etsy store, and I found her through Sonia. Sonia mentioned her in a video, and so I watched Erin's video, and then I found Erin's Etsy shop. And this is the July calendar girl that I would like to finish. Oh, glare. Now I understand glare. It just pops up and makes things impossible to see. I never feel like your glare is that bad, but my glare looks terrible. So that's what she really looks like without the glare. And I was really lucky because I was able to get one of the very first kits that Jessie Marie did from the Storyteller collection from her business. And what she kitted up for me is the flosses for July through December. It came in this beautifully set up bobbin box. I prefer the bobbins compared to the floss bags. I prefer the bobbins. And you can see all the colors that I need for July through December's calendar girls are in here. And they're labeled clearly, and they're pristinely bobbinated. She was so nice to work with. You know, she doesn't know who, I am, but I knew who she was from her videos. And it didn't matter that she didn't know who I was. She treated me as if I was somebody she did know, with such kindness and such just like, she was such an amazing business person. She did a really fantastic job. I can't recommend her service highly enough. It really made my life a lot easier, and I felt it was reasonably priced for the service that she provided, and especially the level of service. So I have all my flosses for July to December's Calendar Girls in that box, and I'd like to start July for now and finish her by the end of September. I'll be doing her on the same cloth that I've been using for the other Calendar Girls, which is 14 count Aida in Misty Taupe. And this was, this is my piece that I cut, but it's one of those tubes by Charles Craft, I believe. And I picked it up in AC Moore, which a new one opened up near me. And I was so excited to find that interesting color. It seemed like perfect for, there's a lot of cream used, 712 DMC used, and it was perfect for setting off that cream. And the last thing I want to show you is one other project I'm really excited to start. And this is in my project bag that I got from McKenna at Every Stitch Counts. Her store is on Amazon, and it's called Sincere Stitches. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous fabric. I just love the fabric. I was so excited to be able to get this this bag because I fell in love with the pattern. And she has this awesome hot pink suede on the inside. And I'm keeping my project that I want to start in here. And that is Gather Ye Tulips by Heartstring Samplery. Let me take it out of the bag so you don't see the glare. I found this when I was looking at Coffee Quaker. I like coffee, but I didn't know if I wanted to stitch Coffee Quaker, but I was interested in seeing it, so I went to the Heartstring Samplery Etsy site, and when I saw this, I was like, that is what I want to stitch. Let's see if you can see it. It's a photograph. Oh, it's really glary because it's like a true photograph, so maybe that's better. Not really. So this project, it calls for hand-dyed flosses. It calls for Gentle Art and Weeks Dye Works. This will be the first project I do with all of those. I picked them up from Down Sunshine Lane, and they're all in this bag. I know you're probably horrified that I have them all in this bag like this. That's not very respectful of the floss. But I keep it together at least. And I'm going to be doing it on this fabric. As I said, I have a lot of fabric by LJ, and I want to use it because I did buy it, and so I wanted to find something that I thought would work from the stash that I have. And again, I really prefer to work on Aida still. I'm still really new. I've done a couple of projects on even weave and linen, and I find it hurts my brain a little bit, and since this is supposed to be my fun hobby, I don't want it to hurt my brain. And Aida is a little bit easier to work on. So this was called Harvest, and this was a fabric of the month that I picked up afterwards. That was like a leftover fabric of the month. It's a 16 count, and this is what I'm going to do that project on. Let's see, you can get a good view of it. It's like a light pumpkin color. So we'll see how that turns out. I'd like to start it just because I'm excited about it, but I hopefully want to get those other finishes in. As I said, I'd love to do some finishes for Stitch from Staff so I can get needle minders. So we'll see how that goes. So those are my plans for September and some of the whips that I've been working on. I just want to thank you guys for being so inspirational, for being so real and such good YouTube friends. Just as somebody who's watched for a couple of years, I feel like it's been such a pleasure and an honor to get to know you all, and I hope that you'll get to know me and I'll be part of your community. So thank you so much for watching. Please check me out on Instagram to see pictures of my progress on these whips. Again, my name there is Stitching Liz, and I hope you all have a great day. Thank you again, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.